iShowSpeed, one of the fastest growing YouTube streamers in history, has garnered a massive following in a short time. From just 10,000 subscribers a year ago to over 4 million today, his meteoric rise has been nothing short of extraordinary. But behind the scenes of his success lies a story of chaos, controversy, and an intense, often toxic community that both fuels and challenges his growth. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, iShowSpeed, whose real name is Darren, began his journey on YouTube back in late 2017, uploading NBA 2K and Fortnite highlights. However, it wasn't until 2020 that he fully committed to live streaming, and that's when things began to take off. Speed was just 15 at the time, and his content was lighthearted and entertaining, often featuring his gameplay of NBA 2K20. During the early months of streaming, he wasn't a standout figure in the gaming community, streaming to an audience of only 5 viewers. But his willingness to interact with viewers and bring energy to the screen made him relatable and likable to his audience. As time went on, Speed's gaming skills began to attract more attention. He was able to play with bigger streamers, which led to shout-outs and an increase in viewership. But while his talent and personality were helping him grow, so was the toxicity of the gaming community he was a part of. NBA 2K, much like games such as Call of Duty, often breeds a competitive, trash-talking environment. This atmosphere soon began to affect Speed, as viewers in his chat would call him names, challenge him, and instigate him to react negatively. At first, Speed took it in stride, but it wasn't long before the pressure began to build. By the summer of 2020, Speed had developed a formula for growth. He streamed daily, providing content that was energetic, funny, and sometimes unpredictable. When things didn't go well in his games, Speed would have what became known as rage moments. Emotional outbursts that his audience began to crave. These outbursts weren't just part of his streams anymore. They became the content. Speed discovered that by capturing these moments and posting them as clips on YouTube, he could gain even more attention and subscribers. His content was quickly becoming synonymous with dramatic reactions to failures in the game. But these rage moments weren't just isolated events. They became part of his brand. Viewers would tune in just to see him lose control, to see what would push him to the brink. Speed's freakouts became a staple of his channel, a signature that set him apart from other streamers. His content, in many ways, mirrored the culture of toxicity that plagued the games he played. Viewers, some of them trolls, began to test Speed's limits, seeing how much they could provoke him before he snapped. This high-stress environment fueled his rise, but it also created a volatile situation where Speed often found himself lashing out in ways that were controversial. One incident that further fueled his reputation occurred in October 2020 when Speed was banned from streaming. YouTube mistakenly thought he was underage, as he was only 15 at the time, and the platform requires streamers to be at least 13. His ban lasted just 1 day, but it was a pivotal moment for him. This ban only increased his desire to keep pushing forward, and he came back stronger than before. He continued streaming NBA 2K21, often experimenting with new game modes, and his audience continued to grow. But it was clear that the more Speed fed into his rage and controversy, the faster his following grew. The rise of iShowSpeed wasn't without its struggles. As his popularity grew, so did the attacks from people trying to take him down. One issue Speed faced regularly was DDoS attacks, where hackers would overload his internet connection, causing his stream to lag or disconnect. These attacks became so frequent that Speed would often post broken heart videos, where he expressed his frustration and begged the attackers to stop. These videos, while addressing the attacks, also served to fuel the drama surrounding him. Viewers ate it up, and Speed's emotional responses only added fuel to the fire. The more he reacted, the more his community rallied around him, and the more his numbers grew. But not all of Speed's behavior was genuine. In many ways, Speed blurred the lines between reality and performance. He would often act upset over the smallest things, only for it to turn out to be part of a larger act. For instance, he would make dramatic videos claiming he was upset about people questioning his hygiene or asking about his real name. Speed's ability to make these moments feel real, even when they were exaggerated for entertainment, contributed to his growth. But it also left people wondering whether he was truly upset or just playing the role of an angry, out-of-control streamer for attention. His fans were entertained by his antics, but there was a darker side to the growing popularity. The turning point for Speed came in early 2021 when he started gaining massive traction. After being consistent with his rage-filled streams and outbursts, his channel began to explode. He began celebrating milestones such as hitting 400,000, 500,000, and eventually 1 million subscribers, often using his subscriber count as part of his streams. The tension in the chat would build as people unsubscribed, hoping to see Speed react angrily. When his subscriber count reached a new milestone, the excitement in the chat was palpable, and Speed would give them exactly what they wanted: a big reaction. It wasn't just about gaming anymore. Speed was now a viral sensation. His antics, including barking when angry, became widely recognized and shared across platforms like TikTok. People loved watching his emotional responses to challenges, and the more extreme the reaction, the more viral it became. By mid-2021, Speed was amassing millions of subscribers, and the videos of him barking, crying, and throwing tantrums were getting millions of views. But all of the success came at a cost. The stress of constantly maintaining this over-the-top persona began to take its toll on Speed. The constant need to entertain, to be outrageous, and to keep pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable in the streaming world was exhausting. His fan base, while massive, was often toxic, and the pressure to please them with increasingly outrageous behavior led to a high-stress environment that seemed unsustainable. Despite these challenges, Speed managed to find success in other ventures. His unexpected music career took off, with his hit single Duty Booty becoming a viral sensation. His musical talents, though controversial and playful in nature, gained him a large following on platforms like Spotify, where he now has over 1 million monthly listeners. His music became another avenue for Speed to express himself, but it also added to the chaos that surrounded his brand. As Speed's career continued to grow, so did the controversies. He was invited to participate in e-dates with influencers like Adin. But his edgy sense of humor often went too far, causing friction with other streamers and fans. One particular incident, where Speed made a highly inappropriate joke to a female participant, sparked outrage. It led to him being eliminated from the e-date and left many questioning whether he had taken the joke too far. While Speed continued to entertain his fans, the controversy surrounding his actions only seemed to intensify. In the end, iShowSpeed's rise to fame can be attributed to a perfect storm of factors. His unique combination of gaming skills, rage-filled reactions, and ability to entertain made him a standout figure in the live streaming world. But it wasn't just his personality that attracted attention. It was the chaotic and unpredictable nature of his content that kept viewers coming back for more. Whether it was his dramatic outbursts, the trolls in his chat, or his bizarre antics, Speed managed to create a brand that was impossible to ignore. Now, with millions of subscribers and a rapidly growing fan base, iShowSpeed is at a crossroads. His rise has been nothing short of meteoric, but the question remains, how long can he keep up this high-stress, high-drama persona? As his popularity continues to soar, it's clear that the line between what's real and what's a performance is becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish. Whether Speed can find a balance between his real self and his streaming persona remains to be seen. But for now, he continues to dominate the world of live streaming, for better or for worse.